Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, and with me, as always, is my good friend and co-host Fred Alvader. Fred, we've got a lot to unpack today. Tiger, Rory, the Walker Cup, the PGA Tour's new fall start, and one of the most meaningful events in college golf at American Dunes. So let's dive right into it. How are you today?
Fantastic, Carlos. Beautiful day up here in Cadillac today. Chamber of Commerce Day. Absolutely beautiful. Temperature's perfect. We've had 4 or 5 days of really cool weather. Didn't even get out of the 60s. But beautiful day today. I loved watching the Walker Cup over the weekend. I loved looking at Cypress Point. I can't wait to talk about it here later in the show. Rory's fantastic finish at the Irish Open. And you're going to talk a little bit about, we got some Tiger Woods news, right?
Yes, Fred, anytime Tiger is seen swinging a golf club, it's like the whole golf world takes notice. And he was at the Nexus Cup charity event in New Jersey, and he was spotted hitting balls. And while it wasn't, full speed range session, just seeing him with rhythm and balance brought a wave of optimism for people, right? For Tiger, you know that it's never just about the swing, it's about resilience. After spinal fusions, car accidents, Achilles issues, most players would have just walked away, but he continues to fight. And that keeps the dream from alive for fans that maybe he's not done yet. Maybe he is, but some may think, maybe not. But at the same time, Tiger is growing his legacy off the course. He just opened a new TGR learning lab in Philadelphia. Those facilities focus on STEM education and career readiness for underprivileged youth. So that means that whether he tees it up again or not, at least we see his footprint on the game and on society just keeps expanding. So, Fred, for me, Tiger hitting balls is a reminder of hope on the course, but his learning lab expansion shows his real championship continues to be changing lives.
Earl said back when Tiger first started playing on tour that, golf is just one part of Tiger Woods. You haven't seen the best of him, and he went on to have a unbelievable career in professional golf. And he's doing these learning labs and doing all this stuff. He started the TGL Golf League. He's involved now in the management of the PGA Tour by being on the policy board and taking an active role in the negotiations with the Saudis and then the Live Golf and that kind of thing. So he's involved in a lot of stuff. I see him in the future, running a large corporation, a multi-million dollar corporation, and being very involved in stuff. He might even maybe be a senator or something. Who knows? But yeah, but I got a question for you here too. So you just hitting some few wedges, as you said, nothing serious. Maybe trying to get ready for the TGL season, which will be after the first of the year in January and February. Do you think that he might be able to play in the Hero World Challenge at the beginning of December? That's only 2.5 months away.
Oof, wow, that's a little tough to think. I what we saw was in full on range session, right? But if you look at it, he looked like he had a good rhythm. I mean, he had like good balance, and for fans, that might be enough to feel a spark of hope. I mean, maybe you can try to read too much into it. He looked good. Uh, 2.5 months. Maybe he's already, for me, for him to actually be doing those kind of golf swings means that he has been practicing. So he may be more ahead of schedule than we think. I think it's a possibility that he might be there.
That'd be something to see. Well, that'll bring the eyeballs to the Hero World Challenge for sure.
Well, anytime Tiger picks up the golf club, the golf world stops and watches. So we'll see. But to me, it shows, his true legacy with these things about the TGR's learning labs. Undeserved communities, access to STEM programs and career prep. So whether he competes again or not, at least like you mentioned, he may be a corporate person afterwards, but I see him changing life through golf. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's move on now. And Fred, you and I have seen Rory McIlroy pull off some great wins, but what he did in Northern Ireland this week might be near the top emotionally, at least. Coming down the stretch, Rory found another gear. I mean, the crowd was electric, and you could see it fuel him. What I loved was the way that he handled the pressure. Every shot mattered. And instead of tightening up, he thrived. I mean, that speaks to his maturity and confidence at this stage of his career. Beyond the trophy, I think this win was more about identity. Roy has always carried the flag for Ireland and Europe, and winning in front of his home fans, it feels like more of a reaffirmation of who he is and what he represents. I mean, he's heading to the Ryder Cup, and you couldn't script any better momentum for him. He's clearly the heartbeat of Team Europe, and performances like this reminds everyone why. What you think about that?
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff. I mean, we've seen Rory, close out his career Grand Slam with the Masters. What a relief that was. He just kind of went into a funk all summer, didn't really do anything. He did win 3 times this year, so he had a great year, won 5 times around the world. This is so he's had a pretty decent year, even though in the middle of it he didn't do much. So, and he played last week in the Irish Open. He's gonna be playing next week in the BMW. Got to be the favorite to win that at Wentworth, right? I mean, so I got a question for you. Um, Bernhard Langer had 42 European Tour wins plus 2 Masters. Okay, Seve, remember Seve, had 50 European Tour wins. Matter of fact, he's the career leader with wins on the European Tour. He had 2 Masters, 3 Opens, five majors, and he was huge Ryder Cup star, right? I mean, he really set the Ryder Cup up for the Europeans, for all time. He made it important for them. Colin Montgomery, 31 European Tour wins, no majors, but 8 orders of merit. I mean, he was the guy in Europe for a long, long, long time. Nick Faldo, 30 wins on the European Tour, 6 majors. And then you come to Rory, 20 European Tour wins, 29 PGA Tour wins, 6 majors, 3-time FedEx Cup winner. Who's the greatest European Tour player ever, Carlos?
Wow. At this point, you got to think, well, uh, seasons and ages are different, right? Um, I would say for now, I would go with Bernard because of what he has done for the longevity of his career. Rory right now seems to be headed that way, but the longer career, what Bernhard Langer has been able to do, not only what he did in the European Tour, winning 2 majors, and but what he did also at the Champions Tour is amazing. So to me, I would have to go with Bernhard Langer for a career wise. But Roy seems like if he keeps it going, he might get there.
And we documented this many times, but Rory is always up or down, up or down. There's no in between. There's no real medium with Rory. When he's good, he's very, very good, and when he's not good, he's not very good. And so Langer was consistent his whole career. Seve was a lot like Rory, and when he's good, he's really, really good, and when he's bad, he was terrible. I mean, he couldn't keep it on the golf course. But Seve was good a lot, especially in Ryder Cup. And with 5 majors, that's coming from Europe to win 5 majors. That's pretty good. The other two, Colin was great, Nick Faldo was great. Rory, it's a little different deal, like you said, different time because he plays mostly in the United States. He would have probably 60 or 70 wins on the European Tour if he just played the European Tour. Tiger is third all time on the European Tour with wins behind Langer and Seve. Seve's number one, Langer's number two. But Rory has the better work for me, the greater body of work with his, 6 majors or 5 majors rather, and 29 PGA Tour wins to go with 20 European Tour wins, and then the 3-time FedEx Cup. I got to give the edge to Rory in this as probably the best European player ever. I hate to do that for a current player because I want to preserve the history. And Langer and Seve, they're the history of the Europeans. But Rory has achieved way more worldwide than those other guys ever did.
But don't you think that it might be a little unfair because back then those players didn't play that much on the PGA Tour? Right now it's more. And that's why I tend to go with Bernhard because of what he has done and what he has kept doing on the Champions Tour as well. Because I don't know if Rory all of a sudden is going to stop playing, and hey, maybe he stops there. And I would give more value to endurance and longevity right now to do that. And for me, just to give him right now that it's yeah, for now, yes, because he did it on the PGA Tour, but it's different eras. You have more
I
players
know.
now in the European
Yep.
Tour playing more here. So
Plus, he's playing against better competition here in America. And you use Longer's Champions Tour career. I discount that. To me, the Champions Tour is just kind of like a reward for having a good career, and you go play with your buddies and have a good time. For him to win 45, 46 times on the Champions Tour is absolutely amazing, and that's amazing in itself. Okay, to have that kind of long career. But just at this point, what Rory has achieved, and what is he, 35 years old now or 34, something like that, and he's still got several more years to play yet. For him to achieve what he's achieved, I just feel like his body of work at in the regular tour, not counting the Champions Tour, is just phenomenal, really. But that's just me, Carlos. We could probably debate this for hours, but we got other stuff to talk
mhm.
about. I thought it was kind of cool to debate that a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's talk, and just to close it out on Rory, I mean, to me, it was just goosebumps golf, the way that he did it. He thrived there at the high stakes, and if there was any doubt about who's going to set the tone for the European team, this victory erased it. He's the guy. But Fred, this year's Walker Cup was historic simply because of where it was played. Cypress Point. That is one of the most exclusive scenic golf courses in the world. And it opened its gates to host this amateur showcase. So the Walker Cup, of course, is special in itself because it strips golf down to its purest form. It's team pride, it's match play, young players giving everything they have, not for a paycheck, but for country, which is something I've always loved. And having it at Cypress added a level of magic. It's like Augusta hosting an amateur team event, something like that. And the quality of golf was outstanding too. I mean, GB and I, they came out strong in the Saturday foursomes, grabbing an early edge, but from there, US said, we got it from here. They found their rhythm and set the stage for one of the most decisive finishes, 17-9, that we've seen in recent Walker Cup history, Fred.
And there was only 1 point difference going into that last finals, the last singles on Sunday afternoon. I mean, it was what, 9.5 to 8.5 or something like that when he started, and I really felt like when they got to the singles that the American team would win because top to bottom they were better individually than the GBNI team. It was kind of interesting to see Ian Poulter's son Luke on the team, on the European team, on the GBI team, I should say. And he pretty good player, played pretty well. Number 16, I just shake my head when those guys. I watched every shot that those guys hit on 16. What a phenomenal golf hole. Oh my goodness, it's just impossible. I'm hitting it over to the side over there and then wedging it on, Carlos. I'm not trying to carry that over there. There's no way. And I'm going from the forward tee. I'm not playing back at that 232 deal or 223 or whatever it was. But the shots that they hit in there were phenomenal. 6 iron, 5 irons, 4 irons. A couple guys even hit hybrids in there. They were too much. I think they were planning on wind and they didn't get it. Another thing, Stuart Haggis, what a player! This was his seventh Walker Cup. Just amazing stuff. He's still winning out there. Um, Justin Koiven, number one amateur in the world. He led all 4 sessions. They put him out in the first match every time. He went 3-1, played phenomenal. But the true star of the whole thing, Carlos, was Cypress Point. And that's
Mhm.
why I watched it. I wanted to see everything I could see about that golf course. I've never been to the Monterey Peninsula, but you've got Cypress, you've got Pebble Beach, you've got Pasatiempo, you got the Meadows, you got Poppy Hills, you got like 10 or 12, some of the best golf in the world right there. in the immediate area within a few miles of each other. And it's just phenomenal area. The golf course, I was a little disappointed. They didn't show much of the front nine. I didn't get to see much of that, but the back nine, I really got to see a lot of that over the 2 days and just really good stuff. I can't say enough about Cypress Point, really. And if people want to, if you want to read a good book sometime, get The Match by Mark Frost. Talks about the match that amateurs Ken Venturi and Harvey Ward played against uh, Byron Nelson and Ben Hogan in 1956, prior to the Crosby Clambake that was being held at Pebble. Eddie, whatchamacallit, the caddy that was for Francis we met in 1913 U.S. Open that we met won. Went out there and started a Lincoln dealership in San Francisco, made a lot of money, put up a bunch of bets, and got these guys to play. But they played at Cypress, and they document pretty much every shot and what they did. Really good book. But Cypress Point, phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal place. Loved watching on TV, Carlos.
Yeah, exactly, Fred. I mean, it was the star there, but also what impressed me about it was how complete the U.S. team looked. You mentioned, it was a mix of veterans like Hagestad and the rising stars like Koivu and Howell. Those Koivu is really good. I mean,
Hogan
that
has
guy.
his PGA Tour card whenever he wants to use it. He doesn't have to
Yeah,
use it yet. He's only his sophomore year at Auburn, so he's got he could play another couple years yet.
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him, and the depth is why they've now won 5 straight Walker Cups. So yes, Cypress Point gave the event its magic, but the story was how the Americans closed the door when it mattered, dominating
Don't you
singles play
don't
on.
you think GB&I is going to have to go like the Ryder Cup and bring in all of Europe? Don't you think they're have to go do that?
They're gonna
They
have
need
to.
some
I
Spanish
mean,
players and some German players. They really need that. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Scotland,
dominating the
Ireland.
singles play on Sunday made this one of the most commanding Walker Cup performances in modern history, and I think they have to do some changes. Otherwise, it's just going to turn boring, the
Just be
domination
irrelevant. Yeah,
space. Yeah.
exactly. Like the President's
So,
Cup.
hey, Fred, we're kicking off the fall schedule at the Procore Championship in Santa Barbara, and I have to say, this doesn't feel like a sleepy post FedEx stretch anymore. I mean, with most of the U.S. Ryder Cup team of the field, the intensity is going to be right out of the gate. So the tour has been reshaping the fall into something more relevant. FedEx Cup points still matter, and sponsors are bringing in strong purses and top tier venues. So that combination makes this a little bit more than just a tune up. So, but what is interesting this year, the fall may shape how players manage their schedules heading into next season. The questions will be like, will big names use it as momentum builders, or will we see it as an opportunity for younger players to break through? Either way, fans win. Meaningful golf in September keeps the spotlight shining. And hey, Ryder Cup is around the corner. So, what do you think about this, Fred?
The reason this is getting a lot of attention, which we wouldn't normally talk about this tournament that much. We might mention it in passing, but Captain Keegan Bradley really wants the U.S. team to play in this. He asked them all to play. The only guy that begged off was Xander Schauffele. He's not playing this week, and of course Bryson DeChambeau cannot play because he's suspended from the PGA Tour because he plays on the LIV Tour. Now he can play in the Ryder Cup because it's a PGA event, and that's okay. It's not a tour event. So we've got 10 of the 12 Ryder Cup team players in the field, including Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Harris English, Ben Griffin, Russell Henley, Colin Mark Howard, J.J. Spawn, Dustin Thomas, and Cameron Young, but also Scotty Scheffler. And I think he's the number one guy in the world, and I think he has been for a while. So, it's always good to see Scotty tee it up. But normally, Carlos, we see the Ryder Cup guys, they get picked during the FedEx Cup playoffs. The European team gets picked, and then after the Tour Championship, the PGA Tour guys go home. They're taking the kids to school. They're hanging out with their wife. They're doing stuff at home with their buddies. They don't even look at their golf clubs, and all of a sudden, well, the Ryder Cup's a month later, and so they go out and hit a few balls and go tee it up at the Ryder Club and play like crap. So, as we mentioned earlier, you've got your guys playing the Irish Open. They're playing the BMW this week, so they're playing. They're involved. They're engaged. And so Bradley asked these guys to play, and they did. So, um, yeah, it's a good deal. We've got guys that are trying to keep their cards. They're trying to finish in the top 100 to even be on the tour next year. Remember, we're dropping from 125 down to 100 guys that are exempt on tour, so it makes it tougher. Those 25 guys are going to be they're going to be on the Corn Ferry Tour or trying to get sponsors exemptions. So and those are going away too because the tour is taking those over. They're not even going to give sponsors exemptions. So it's going to be a tougher tour to be on. It's going to Champions Tour has always been the toughest tour to get onto, but the PGA Tour is going to be getting there as well. They added a signature event this year. There's 9 of them now, so it's worth a lot of money to be in that top 100. So these 7 events this fall are very important for some of these guys.
And I love it. I love it. For too long, the fall felt like the tour was in hibernation, basically. It was like just pass through. But this year with the Procore Championship, the tour made it clear that the fall is mattering. Ryder Cup players in the field, FedEx Cup points still on the line. So this is meaningful golf. It also, I see it like giving the young players a chance to prove themselves against the big boys while keeping the stars a little sharp on it. So for fans, it's going to be a win-win. Instead of a lull, we're getting top tier competition to carry us in straight into the next season. So it's going to be interesting to see that.
And on the other note, the Corn Ferry Tour is going to be wrapping up their season with their final series, and they play in Columbus, and they're going to play in French Lick. The final event's going to be in French Lick, and they're only taking 20 cards from the Corn Ferry Tour Championship this year, not 25. So again, it gets harder to get on the PGA Tour.
Yes, it is. And hey, Fred, American Dunes is unlike any other course in the country because it's not just about golf, it's about purpose. Jack Nicklaus designed it, and Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney founded Folds of Honor to provide scholarships to families of fallen or disabled service vet members. So when you put college athletes on that stage, you get competition mixed with perspective. And these young men and women realize they're playing for something bigger than themselves. The Folds of Honor Collegiate has quickly become a premier college event. And I think it's because it ties performance to a mission. And you win here, but you also honor service, sacrifice, and family. So it's that type of event that reminds us, golf is more than birdies and bogeys. It's a vehicle for respect and gratitude. So what do you think about this tournament upcoming now in American Dunes?
I really like this tournament. I really like the golf course. I got to play there a couple of years ago. It's phenomenal. You get to walk through the memory garden, memory plaques there and stuff, the walls. It's really moving experience. They stop play and play the national anthem during the day. And it's really they're serious about their patriotism and the folds of honor there for sure. Michigan State hosts this event, so it's men's and women's teams, Carlos. It's not just men. You've got 27 total teams. You got 15 men's teams and 12 women's teams in the combined field. So, and it is shown on TV. You can watch it on the Golf Channel. It's in the morning from 9:30 to 12:30, and then again in the evening from like 4:30 to 7:30. So you can watch it. You've got some of the best college teams in the nation playing there. Um, um, Jacob Modleski, the Notre Dame player who played in the Walker Cup, actually got done Sunday night, jumped on a plane, flew. I don't know if he flew to Chicago or to somewhere in maybe probably to Grand Rapids, probably. He got into Grand Haven, is where American Dunes is, at 4:30 in the morning, and then teed it up at noon and played. And I think he was 3 over on after Monday's round. I don't know what he shot today, but yeah, that's good stuff. These guys they take it seriously. It's a team. A really good college team event, Carlos, and some really good schools are there.
Yeah, when these college kids play there, they're not just chasing a trophy. they're connecting to something bigger. At least that feels like it's become a marquee event because it blends competition with cause. So win here, you've not only proven your game, but you've honored sacrifice. So that's big. I honor that, and that perspective makes the Fold of Honors collegiate one of the most meaningful tournaments in the sport. So, hey, Fred, any final thoughts before we close the
Yeah, I
show?
just want to urge everybody, if you get a chance, to check out Michigan Golf Journal, Ohio Golf Journal, and Indiana Golf Journal this month. Michigan Golf Journal came out yesterday. Ohio will come out tomorrow, and Indiana will be on Friday. We feature the Ryder Cup. That little golf tournament's going to be here at the end of the month, and we have some interesting information in there about that, stuff you might want to know. So if you get a chance, check out michigangolfjournal.com, Carlos.
So you have it. For me, the thread this week is balance, golf inspiring on every level. Tiger reminded us of resilience while building his legacy off the course. Rory delivering goosebumps to his home fans. Cypress Point, oh my God, opening its gates for amateur glory. Amateur American Dunes blending competition with honor. And on top of it all, the PGA Tour proving the fall season is no afterthought. So that'll do it for this edition of the Back Nine Report. Thanks as always to Fred Alvader and to all of you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more stories and insights. And of course, hey, Ryder Cup Talk is right around the corner. So make sure that if you enjoy the show, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and share it with a fellow golf fan. It really helps us keep growing the Back Nine Report community. So until next time, keep your swing smooth and keep it in the short grass. And we'll see you on the Back Nine.